Hi my friend, episode number 6 already. Today it's about tripod and monopod, and I'll speak to you about other things that you can use to carry your camera with you depending on what you want to do. All my tripods are Manfrotto. I like them because first of all you can replace parts that are broken. They're not too expensive and you have a lot of choices. My big one. This is a big tripod. Very heavy, very sturdy. And that's one of the things, if you do landscape, this one is the one to use. Very strong, heavy, but you have a place here to know if you're level. And that's a ball head. Most of the photographer will use a good ball head. It's quite expensive too, like, you know, you have to buy the head and it's quite heavy. But when you buy your tripod and your head, look at how much weight you'll put on it. And that's a way to decide what tripod to buy. And look at the weight of the tripod after that to see if this is something you want to carry with you. Another thing that you have to look for is how high your tripod will go. I like to have a tripod that is higher than me when I do landscape, because if I want to go on a rock and look farther away, this is a good tripod for that. I don't carry that with me because it's too heavy, but when I go in a place that is close to my car, I'm bringing this one with me. Another thing that I like about this one is you can open the legs. See, when you press on it, you can move your legs a lot higher. And that way you can, if you don't have a lens that is even, you can use that for rock or things like that. And you have the center column. One thing that normally you should not do is to use, and this one is pretty strong, but still, when you want to bring your center column up, this one is big. But still, with the wind, you can have vibration. I tend to not use it up. And some people will take the column out, because when you go down to the ground level, you can go at 6 inch to the ground. With this one I don't do this because this is not the one that I use to do this kind of work. It's too bulky, it's too heavy. One thing that I like too is the hand warmer here when you go outside and it's very cold. It's very practical. Okay, let's see something that I use most of the time now. It's a very easy one to carry. Doesn't weigh anything, that's all. You can put that in your carry-on. It's not heavy. Right now this is the number 1 that I use. They call it, let's see, be free. And look at that. You just move your leg out like that. It doesn't go as high as the other one. It means you might have to put it on a table or something. It's pretty strong. And look at that, the legs. You can put the legs to a regular tripod and put it down, and that one it's tall enough, very sturdy. And if you want to go a lot lower on the ground, you can open the legs like that. It's not as low as some people will like. If you want to go lower, you can take the column out of a big one. But for me, if I want to go lower, I'll show you something. Gadget. This is another Manfrotto, but it's a small guy. You can put your camera on this, and with the legs, you can, if you want, extend the legs. You can have it like that, or if you wish to, you can go as low as. This is just to support your camera. I will use a wide angle mostly when I want to do some shot with this kind of things, because it's not a portrait. Or even a portrait, if you want to go that low, you can probably put my 24-105 on top of this without any problem. You have some that are made, I think this is the Right Stuff, that does one that can support anything. For me, this one, I use it and it's doing the job. It's not expensive. You can attach your camera on this and use the wall. That way it won't move that much and doesn't take any space. That's always something I'm thinking about. Like, this is in my bag all the time. I always have a tripod with me. This with the Be Free, I can do most of the work with that. Those guys, that's the Jubby, are very practical if you want to put your camera on top of something that is like a bench or something like that. You can bend it. This one, I have a small ball head. Can be good for your light too, or your flash. They're light, they're easy to carry, and they're flexible. You can do different things with them. Okay, now let's speak about video tripod. Video, I will use the big one, like the strong one, and just have a head to do video. But normally, if I want to do video, move a lot, and for that I'm using this thing. This is a monopod. I have two monopods. I have this one, mostly when I have an event with my 70-200. That's very heavy. After a day, I'm very tired. I use this. This one has, you can change it for something like that. Take some picture of cattle, and I had to pass the day there with my 70-200. And I put that on the ground, put that on top, and wait, and it was like, I was not tired at all. And that's why I like, and it's not expensive. I think it's 70 bucks or something like that. It's not heavy, doesn't take too much room, and it's practical. It's always in the trunk of my car. You can use a big tripod with a video head. A video head is a head that makes you do very slow motion movement. Because when you film, you don't want things to move too fast. You don't want to have that feeling. You have different heads. You can have one that are more expensive than this one. But for what I use it, you can crank it. You can have, like with your camera on it, it can go by itself. But it's smooth. And that's what you want for video. You want something very smooth. Something I want to add with the video tripod. Important part is the leg, okay? Because those legs, you put that on the ground, it can almost stand by itself, but it's not for that. Don't leave your camera on this and go. But it's quite strong. But the things with that, and it depends of the company that you have. This one, you just put that up, and with that, I'll show you something. I can bring it all the way in a smooth movement. Means if you're filming something and you're going down, you can do that, and it just moves smoothly. We have different companies that are doing different one, but this one I like it because it's easy to block it after, and you bring, if you want to use it with no movement, I don't have to touch it, but I will not leave my camera on it. Okay, now let's look at other gadget. Other gadget that I like, it's to do some video, but you can carry your camera with this, and you have a place to put your flash, or you can put your mic, and it's easy to carry. You have to be steady, but I tried some footage with that. I can put that on the floor and do footage of just foot. It's very light. It's not expensive. It's probably 40 bucks. You have to look at the space in between the top of your camera and the handle, just to make sure that it will fit your camera. But this one, I put my T4 on it all the time. Let's step back and speak again about the tripod. A tripod, you have to look at what you want to do with it. The weight you can put on it with your lens and your camera. If it's 7 to 15 pounds, this one is good for, I think it's up to 20 pounds, the big one. Look at the height it can go. If it's something that you do a lot of landscape, you might want to buy a big one and be strong and carry it. Or pay a lot of money and have one that is lighter, and that's like, you know, you have carbon fiber, you can pay a lot for a tripod. This one is very, it's expensive. It's probably 700 bucks, but it's pretty heavy, and it's not a carbon fiber. Or you can go with one that a travel one, the Be Free. This one, it's pretty light, pretty useful. I like it. I use it all the time. I can bring it with me all the time, and it's probably around 350, and it comes with the head attached to it. Okay. If you want to go lower on the ground, you can go with something like this. This one is probably good for 7 to 10 pounds. Or you can use those jobby that you can attach everywhere you want. That's another thing to think about. But think about how low you want to go or high you want to go, what kind of terrain that you're going to take your picture, if you need to balance your legs, if you want the legs warmer for your hand, that's something that I suggest. This one has one too. Look if you want to have a monopod too. You don't have to pay too much for that, except if you want the one to do the video. Tripod that has a head attached like this one, that's okay. You can you know, just use the head that goes with it. But big one like that, you'll have to buy the head separately. Look at the weight of the head can carry, and that's important because you don't want to buy something that it's not strong enough. If you have any question, next week we'll start composition. Don't forget to subscribe. And next week will be a very interesting one. We'll have some picture. We'll speak about the different composition. We'll have few episodes on that. Okay, till then, have fun, keep shooting. See you next week. Enjoy your day and ciao ciao.
¡Eso, Diane!